All right, recording.
Fuck! What's up? It's your boy Fish. This is me and the Homey Hybrids podcast. It's actually 6 o'clock in the fucking morning. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't even know what the time is. I decided that we should sit down and try and record a podcast via Xbox Skype call. So you can call this a podcast if you want, but shit, dude. Obviously this is the Homey hybrid right here that you're looking at. He's huge to me. I don't know how we look in the recording, but fuck, dude. So shit, dude. Fuck, my microphone's hot. I don't know how many times I'm allowed to say shit and fuck in a podcast, but I was wondering, like that fucking Wu-Tang in Daredevil, that was kind of crazy. I got pretty fucking hyped. And
you gotta do spoiler. You gotta do kind of a spoiler alert if you're gonna get there.
Fuck you. Hey, listen to this. If you haven't seen Daredevil yet, and it's already canceled, you're a fucking chump. Turn off my podcast. Our podcast. I mean, get with the times, dude. They got Wu-Tang Clan on Daredevil, Netflix. Go watch it.
But yeah, spoiler warning. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say. People can just skip forward.
Oh, I was just saying. How do you feel about that season? What is it? Season 3 of Daredevil. They got Wu-Tang in a fight scene. Okay, so yeah, it is a spoiler, but pretty badass, man. When that came on, Protect Your Neck, I was like, wow. I got pumped. I was.
About, which scene are you talking about? Which?
It's just a big ass. I don't remember. It's a big ass fight scene, but I'm just sitting on my bed watching Daredevil, and out of nowhere, I'm kind of bored, they're talking in Chinese. I'm trying to read the subtitles, check my phone. All of a sudden, they Protect Your Neck, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? Everybody's kicking ass. They're flying around, whacking each other and shit. I hit you up immediately after, actually, and asked you, whoa, they got Wu-Tang in here, and
what episode are you on?
And I just got done fucking telling people, if you haven't watched it, you're a chump. But I'm on episode 5, and I haven't finished. Yeah, and I haven't even started touch Daredevil. But I can say I did go from episode 5 of Defenders to episode 5 of Daredevil in one day. And
it's that good. But I'm glad that you're halfway through that, because it's only going to get better from there on out. But you know what? As far as Wu-Tang goes, I honestly don't remember that part of that particular episode, but they did that a lot also in Luke Cage, which I know you haven't watched. Luke Cage listens to a lot of hip hop, and when they do scenes where he's putting on his headphones and like riding on a bus or whatever, they bump some Wu-Tang and fight scenes too.
I believe I heard some Tribe in there at one point at some Luke Cage scene. It might have been on Defenders. It was a Tribe instrumental in the background, but I heard it and I was like, and it might not have been Tribe, but it was something that was like, whoa. But
yeah, I remember when they were working on that whole series, Luke Cage. They basically dropped like the track list of what they were going to play throughout the whole season, and I was hyped about that. Julio hit me up, my homie Julio hit me up about it. He's like, yo, I can't wait to look at this list. There's all kinds of greats on here that Luke Cage is going to be bumping. And yeah, I love that they do that. They do that shit for the fans. They know we're into that shit, and they do it for us. And I miss the fuck out of those shows. I mean, I still watch them all the time, but it's bullshit that they canceled them. Not enough people watching, I guess. And just to clear the air about the Disney rumors, that's all false. It had nothing.
Oh, really?
It had nothing to do with Disney. It was all Netflix. I think they were pumping too much money into the production of the shows, and they just weren't making a profit on it.
They needed a better platform. Honestly, they needed a better platform. I think another Netflix is great. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Netflix is great for comedy. they're originals, but even though Daredevil wasn't original, I think that someone else should have handled that show. And I'm thankfully it wasn't like a an NBC or a fucking what's that other one? The WB. It's not the WB anymore. It's like the CA or some shit or the CB, something like that. Okay, I'll put it this way. Thankfully, it wasn't the fucking company that's doing Flash because that show is absolutely terrible. I'll say it right here on record. The production, it's like I'm watching Power Rangers, dude. And everybody's like, dude, you got to watch Flash. And I'm like, dude, you got to watch Power Rangers.
I thought you were gonna say Daredevil, but you went to Power Rangers. No, but
oh yeah.
Okay. So this dude I worked with in Virginia, who tried Daredevil and didn't like it, he started recommending me shows, and he recommended both Flash and Arrow, and I agree 100% with you. The production is not the same. It's terrible.
And even if it's the best storyline, everybody goes off about Flash and Arrow. Even if it's the best storyline, I don't know. And then I kind of feel fucked up saying that because Clerks is one of my favorite movies of all time, which if you haven't seen it, it's terrible production value, incredible writing. I would say incredible writing. And it doesn't work in an action show. It works in a movie where it's two guys standing behind a counter being incredibly funny. It doesn't work when it's an action show that's meant to be for adults because adults don't want to sit and watch something that looks like Power Rangers. I used to watch Mighty Morphin Power Rangers when I was a child, and I go to watch Arrow or Flash, and they go to fight this Megalodon thing, and it's like, is this the same set that the next generation of Power Rangers was on? Because I've checked up on Power Rangers as an adult for the nostalgia factor of what are they doing now, and it's like the same person that produces or that he does the effects of new Power Rangers shows does Arrow and Flash. It's not really like that, but that's what it feels like.
Yeah, you're right. And another thing that I noticed recently, I watched. If you watch episode 6, which you haven't got to yet on season 3 of Daredevil, it's a particular director that only directs a couple episodes. But each episode, like if you go to the IMDb or whatever it is, and you look at each episode, you can see which director is directing which episode, and you can compare that episode, which was awesome, to another episode of, say, Punisher or Luke Cage, and find a really awesome episode, and it's the same director. So the fact that they hire these directors that obviously care about quality production, like that's a big deal. I think they need to, if they continue the shows, like if they start them back up, they need to hire the same people to keep the same quality, or it's not going to work.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If it turns out like we get the directors from Flash or whoever, it's going to be a shit show.
Another thing that sucks is Marvel loves to pull this game where they reboot the series in the middle of the series. So with Spider-Man, in the past 10 years, about 5 or 6 people have played Spider-Man. Maybe not, but regardless, they keep putting out Spider-Man 3 with, Tobey Maguire?
Yep.
And then they put out The Amazing Spider-Man, which had, I'm not sure who, but now they're doing Tom Holland. But then they put out the animated...
Garfield. Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. Andrew Garfield, yeah. And then they put out, I don't know what Spider-Man's called now, but it's just Spider-Man and with all these like other crazy names, and then it's Tom Holland. But then they put out an animated Spider-Man movie that's supposed to be a big blockbuster theater movie, which it was in theaters, and I've seen a lot of, not really critics, but a lot of, prestigious people, I guess, say, oh, one of my favorite movies of this year was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. But it's an animated movie with a completely different person playing, you're the, or this type of Spider-Man. or whatever. And then, spoiler warning: there's a hundred.
I haven't seen that movie.
I'll just say there's 100 different Spider-Mans in that movie, basically.
Right.
And it's into the Spider-Verse. They're going into the multiverse of Spider-Man and introducing every Spider-Man. And so, and then they go, and now they're putting out Spider-Man. What's the new one called?
Far From Home, I think.
Far From Home, and that's Tom Holland again. So where are they going with this series? And they've done that with Hulk. The only person that's been consistent, which you know what I'm going to say, is Iron Man. Throughout the entire series, from beginning to end, Iron Man's been, Robert Downey Jr. has been the only, whatever. And I guess Thor and Captain America, but those guys were so quick. Over the years, if you watch the Hulk movies, the Spider-Man movies, it's all different guys, and it's like, it's different stories too. Like the first three tell the story of Spider-Man or Peter Parker and Mary Jane. The next one tells the story of Peter Parker and one girl's name,
Gwen.
and Stacy.
Yeah.
And now I don't know who the fuck he's in love with, but I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah, no, well, DC's doing that too. They just got a new Batman.
Oh yeah. Oh God, really? I'm hoping
You
that.
know who it is?
No,
It's that Twilight dude, Robert Pattinson or whatever.
it is not.
I swear to God.
He's playing Batman? Why
Yeah.
have I not heard of this? Well, dude, you see the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie that's coming out?
I like that. I like that.
That's gonna be
He's an
sick.
amazing actor. Yeah, he just from the
'Cause
trailer,
that's,
it looks dope.
That is what's that called when they go back and tell the story
Prequel?
rather than not a prequel, but they're telling his backstory before he was origin story. It's an origin story for Joker, which is going to be sick, and it looks like the Joker version of My Friend Dahmer. But
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, DC's doing that. They go all over the place with different Batmans: Christian Bale, Michael Keaton, Robert Pattinson now, which I really
Come on,
don't
dude.
know how that's
What
gonna
the
work.
fuck? I don't know how is he gonna play Batman? They better get him in a fucking beard or something.
Well, he's gonna look ridiculous as fucking Bruce Wayne. Think about it.
Yeah.
He's gonna look like a fucking vampire. Like that's all anybody's ever gonna see.
The only way it's gonna be acceptable is if he has a beard, some kind of a manly beard. That's the only way. Because if they've got him on there looking fucking frosty as fuck, glowing and shit, I'm gonna be like, is this? What is this? This is a fan fiction? I mean, come on. But I'm just saying.
But you know what? All the actors that have played various, like, from Spider-Man to Batman to all the different, to Hulk even, like every time they hire somebody new, everybody's like, "Oh, this is gonna be fucking terrible," but then everybody ends up loving it. So,
Just
and
like
Robert can actually act. He's a solid actor. So, who knows?
Remember Me, his 9/11 movie, Remember Me, was amazing. I loved him in that movie.
I don't think
Where
I saw that one.
Pierce Brosnan plays his dad, and his dad works on the floor that the planes hit, and he happens to be in the office while the planes hit the towers, and they're in there like saying their goodbyes and shit. It's real crazy, but it's a love story, and the end of it is like when the planes hit, and they don't actually address it like, oh, this is 9/11 or anything, but and like with Captain Marvel, everybody's pissed that Brie Larson is Captain Marvel. And it's like, come on, and everybody's like, "Oh, she doesn't have an ass." What does that? What does that have to do with anything? It's a fucking superhero movie. It's not fucking porn.
Well, they complained about Gal Gadot when they hired her for Wonder Woman. They were worried about like her tits aren't big enough or her hips aren't big enough.
She's goddamn gorgeous.
No,
she's goddamn gorgeous. And Wonder Woman is my fucking superhero crush now. God damn, dude.
Have you seen that? Have you seen the movie?
I haven't. I watched half of it. I fell asleep halfway through it.
Dude, that movie's amazing.
Now, what other movie is she in as Wonder Woman? Because she's in multiple movies as Wonder Woman. She has her own movie, and is she in Aquaman?
I haven't seen Aquaman, but she's in Batman versus Superman.
Oh yeah.
That was her first introduction as Wonder Woman.
But I guess my point with all of this is I hope that Marvel doesn't go the route of let's make a Daredevil movie and fuck off with Charlie, whatever his name is. Fuck off with, the whole
I'm
Foggy character. I'll get
I
pissed.
I will boycott. That will be fucking awful. I mean, I have no problem with the Daredevil movie, but I highly doubt they're going to do that. But I think what they'll do is they'll bring him back in some sort of like Avengers movie or something like that, or something to do with like all the Marvel characters, is what I think.
Who plays Punisher? What's his name? I know who he is.
John Bernthal.
Bernthal. Okay. Now, if they make, let's say they do something stupid like Daredevil versus Punisher, and it's this huge movie, and they have those characters, or even if they make a Punisher movie, a Daredevil movie, because that would be cool. Because they made a Daredevil movie once before, they made a Punisher movie once before, then they put out that shitty Punisher movie that just came out. I did not care for that at all. And I didn't really care for the first one either because it's like, who were the people in that movie? I couldn't really, I watched it very young and I loved it, but when I got older, I was like, this movie's not that good. Now, if they gave John Bernthal and Charlie, what's his last name?
Cox?
And Charlie Cox, if they gave them movies, that would be incredible. I'd be satisfied, and that ends the story. I think I don't know, man. It's such a good show. I don't know how.
So you're saying if they do, let's say you finish season 3 and then they come out with a Daredevil movie with Charlie Cox and all the other characters, you'd be satisfied with that if they ended it like that?
Yeah, with a higher kind of production value, like a huge fight scene, and several secrets revealed. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of season 3, but just a huge movie that's like leaves you like, wow, okay, that was the perfect grand finale for this. And then they do the same thing for Daredevil or for Punisher like a year later, or even the same year. That's what Marvel needs to do. Fuck all this. If you look at someone leaked the Marvel movie list for the year, and it's all like Doctor Strange 2 and then like some squad shit. It's all this weird shit. There's a Spider-Man movie on there. I'm not sure. I wonder if I could find that actually.
I don't know if I'd be comfortable with. I thought about that because that's a possibility. Them doing movies with. They wouldn't do movies for each character though. I don't think.
Well, I would think.
Like I was saying, they might do some sort of like Defenders movie or some sort of Heroes for Hire movie, which is Iron Fist and Luke Cage. There's so many different team affiliates in Marvel. They could go anywhere with it. There's so many different characters that they haven't introduced. They could go anywhere with it, and I don't know what they're going to do. It all boils down to can they make a profit off of these stories, really? Which is sad.
I think that if they made, arguably Punisher and Daredevil are their two biggest shows. Yep. Defenders was good, but Marvel fucking Daredevil and Punisher really hit home like whatever. So if they made those movies but included Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, all those people, at the entire cast of all those shows that connect are in the two movies that come out. And for the Punisher, it's more of like Aaron Page and shit like that, and whoever else he was connected with. But with the Daredevil movie, it's going to be like feel like a Defenders reunion where everybody's in it, but they don't have major roles. They're like, I have to go to Jessica Jones for this reason, or I have to go to whatever for this reason. You know what I mean? But I mean, I don't know. So I got the list here of what's coming out for 2019, and it's X-Men: Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix actually looked kind of sick.
Marvel's making the new Men in Black movie.
Fuck if I know. The
They ever do
international
a
one?
comic book? Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's crazy.
That's not surprising to me, but
Spider-Man: Far From Home, which we knew about that. The New Mutants, which seems to be some kind of X-Men type of deal. Um, Kingsman 3. I did not know these were Marvel movies. That's insane.
I'm waiting for DC to introduce Granny Goodness. Have you heard of her?
No.
Oh my god. Let me send you this.
Oh, dude, Jared Leto's got his own movie coming out called Morbius with Marvel.
Jared Leto?
Oh,
Oh, you know what? I think I heard about that a while back.
It says after playing the Joker in Suicide Squad, Jared Leto is returning to the world of comic books in a role that should offer him a bit of more screen time. Sony's Morbius, the Living Vampire, has already begun filming and will release in July 2020. Oh, dude.
Well, you know, I think they kicked him out for being Joker in DC period. And I heard about what you just said a while back, like a year ago. I heard about that he was going to do that. It's like some sort of vampire character, isn't it?
Yep, the Living Vampire is what it's called. They've got Venom 2 coming out October 2nd, 2020, which is going to be tight. You're going to love this.
You watch that?
Oh, yeah. I have that on my computer. Oh, yeah, it was amazing.
Really?
Yep. Now, you're going to be excited about this next one. Black Widow 2020.
You know what? Cash and I have talked about this because I don't know if you knew this, but Daredevil and Black Widow eventually end up dating.
Oh, dude, that might be what's going on. And guess what?
They need to put him in there. They need to put him in there and bang the shit out of her. I'm gonna be jealous, but I'm gonna love it anyway.
It's your girl, dude. She's got her. Well, I mean, she's had plenty of her own movies, but she's got her own fucking Marvel movie coming out, which is dope.
Yeah,
The Eternals.
I'm gonna come all over the computer when that comes out.
I don't know if we're allowed to say that.
Fuck it. But check this out. I just sent you a link to one of the DC characters. This is a character that is part of Darkseid. You know Darkseid?
Yes.
This is a character that's part of Darkseid's team. She's from that whatever the fuck universe it's called. Where they're like giants.
Oh yeah.
Like they're giants in their own universe, but then when they travel through the boom tube, they end up being like regular size. That's come on, isn't that ridiculous? But don't you want to see her in a movie? I fucking love that. It's so ridiculous, but it's
what is the Eternal? What is the Eternals?
It's probably another team affiliation of supervillains or something.
Okay, and then they have Into the Spider-Verse 2 apparently is coming out, which now they're running 2 Spider-Man series at the same time, which is kind of weird. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the spin-off with an all-female film.
What
are they doing? Okay, Black Panther 2, which we knew that's going on. Doctor Strange 2, knew that was going on. Shang-Chi, I'm excited about this. It's going to be a martial arts Marvel movie. It's going to be all like fucking superhero ninjas and shit. Promising to bring hardcore martial arts action to the MCU, Shang-Chi is a priority for Marvel in Phase 4. Because they're doing that whole phase thing where every year it's going to be a new phase, and this year's phase was Avengers and shit like that. So now they're doing phase 4 and introducing all these new characters so that they can do an entire storyline with them. So, or I guess phase 3 was the Avengers, and now phase 4 is this entire new whatever. But the movie is based on comics about the son of Fu Manchu has his eyes open to his father's wickedness after being sent on a dark mission, decides to become a superhero, instead fighting for those who need him instead of the father who would command him. Shang-Chi will be directed by Destin Daniel Cretton. I don't know how to fucking say that. And will reportedly film in Australia.
Sounds strange.
Sounds strange, but I bet it's going to be fucking dope when it happens.
Yeah. No, I believe that too. Did you look at that link?
Not yet. I'm going to finish up this list real quick because it's almost over.
But
But James Gunn is directing the new Guardians of the Galaxy. I wonder how they hired him back at Disney, or is he working with Marvel now?
No, I think they fired him and they hired him back. I heard that.
And that's the last one. So I guess that's everything from 2019 to 2021. I thought there was more, but I don't know. I saw a picture of Okay, now what have you heard about Endgame spoilers? So you're actually watching
it.
I haven't seen it. I know you haven't, but we've all heard spoilers or speculation for spoilers. Now, what have you heard? What spoilers have you heard for Endgame?
The only spoiler I came across, and I'm not even sure it's true or not, but is that Iron Man dies. That's all I've heard.
Okay, so
everything else I skipped over, but that one, I don't know how. Okay, I don't know how I got that one in my face, but
this is it, right? Okay. You don't watch a movie, like I've said before, you don't watch a movie to find out what happens, you do it to find out how it happens. So now that has been spoiled for us, I'm curious because Tony Stark is going to be in more movies. So there's more mystery right there of how did he die and how is he going to be in more movies.
Right.
So maybe he's not, whatever. So now there's more left for, whatever. But all right. It's just so weird to see Men in Black next to fucking all the superhero stuff.
Yeah, that's a little strange. That I'm sure that has to do with money mostly. But
yeah, as
far as spoilers are concerned, I would rather not hear anything. I get what you're saying that
right.
You want to know how.
Oh, I don't like spoilers either.
You don't really care how somebody dies. You don't care that somebody is dead or not. You care how they died, and you don't want that to be spoiled. But I don't want to know anything going.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel about spoilers. If I happen to run across a spoiler and it pisses me off, that's how I calm myself down. All right, well, let's still watch it to find out what happened. I can't stand spoilers, but if I happen to, yeah, this would be a fucking crazy.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny that virtually everybody has a strict code of spoilers over the internet, over all kinds of communication? But like other shows, it's like, fuck it. Like, I'll cheat on my boyfriend, but don't fucking spoil Endgame, motherfucker.
Oh shit!
Don't.
Got some technical difficulties. This is gonna have to be something that in future.
It's a dry run, boy.
Yeah, this is
cool style.
This is what we're doing this for. We gotta find out what the fuck's going on,
Yeah, we're figuring shit out. We're having fun. We're figuring shit out.
We're recording a podcast on a Skype call, so
What do you think about that though? The spoiler thing it's weird. Don't you think that's weird? Don't you fucking dare. Don't spoil that shit.
Yeah, and right. It's so fucking loyal. So loyal. Oh, don't you fucking right. Yeah.
But of
Okay.
course, there's trolls that come out of nowhere and they're like, you know what? I think everybody's seen the movie by now because I really love this movie and everybody else should love it too. Therefore, I can spoil it because everybody should have seen it by now. That was like people's excuses on Facebook pages. Like, oh, if you don't know the ending or if you haven't seen it by now, then you're a fucking idiot. You need to stay off the internet. I'm gonna spoil it. Why the fuck are you spoiling it in the first place? Like, why are you
I'm going from steady cam to hand cam now because we're having some issues. And you know what I say? Fuck off. Typically in a podcast they wouldn't pick up the camera and do whatever the fuck they want, but I'm going to because it's the motherfucking Me and the Homie Hybrids podcast. So there's no rules here.
There's no fucking rules. You know
Check
what?
this out.
One day I'm gonna order a pizza during a podcast, and I'm gonna have the guy walk right in with his little stupid hat. Like, here, sir, here's your fucking pizza.
Look at this. First episode of the podcast. I mean, obviously, dry run, whatever, test run, whatever you want to call it. My screen goes out, and I'm sitting here holding the camera. One day, everybody that ever fucking watches this, if you stick with us or the Class of Ashbury High podcast, one day we will have a studio, and this shit will be official. But for right now, we're having a fucking silly goose time. And the words of my Lord and Savior, Chris D'Elia, we're having a silly goose time. And that's it.
No, it's gonna be fun. This is gonna be what I am hoping for is that we get into some really serious like conversations about history and shit like that. I cannot wait for that.
This is a Skype call podcast after all. I mean, I could take the fucking camera wherever the hell I want. Now, granny goodness, great fucking goodness, dude.
Read her abilities.
You know what? We can't make this movie because you know who would have been perfect in this movie?
What movie?
Granny Goodness.
No. I don't want there to be a movie called Granny Goodness. I just want her to be introduced.
I know,
I want to see who they're gonna hire for that shit.
The person who could have played this. Well, I would say the person who could have played this best already died.
Who?
Doris, I believe is her name. Everybody loves Raymond. Dolores, Doris, I don't know her fucking name actually. Disrespectful because she's dead. Everybody loves Raymond, the mom.
That show is stupid.
Okay, Grandma's Boy. Is Grandma on Grandma's Boy?
Grandma's Boy.
It's turned into
Doris Roberts?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're right. She looks like her.
Yeah. This has turned into a fucking superhero podcast. Look at this, dude. How many times do you fucking see this on a podcast?
See what? Your big face? Your close-up?
I'm still icy, though. Oh, actually. Oh, look at that. My big rapper chain. My anal probe. Okay, let's get back to fucking business. Now, we've been talking about superheroes long enough. I want to know... Yeah. I know you listen to a lot of... see if I can get this to be set back up.
Let me grab a beer real quick. It's right outside the door here.
We're going to take a quick intermission. Yeah, and I would like to tell you that this episode of Me and the Homie Hybrids podcast is sponsored by absolutely fucking nothing. But I was supposed to come up with a good joke here. I was supposed to say, this episode of Me and the Homie Hybrids podcast is sponsored by Atlanta because I get sad when I think about it. But fuck it. This episode of Me and the Homie Hybrids podcast is sponsored by. We'll save that one. We'll save that one for a later date.
Back in business.
I just had to give a quick shout out to our sponsors while you were gone.
Who's that?
I'll have to watch it and find out.
Shit. Oh no. Better not be anal plugs or pocket pussies.
It was almost going to be Share Bear, but I didn't have the confidence to hit that one.
What about like free Oxanas for all of our male viewers? Butthole ones, pussy ones, mouth ones.
If you use code fucking, what would our code even be? Is it raining outside? We'd have to come up with a funny ass code. I don't like this angle. Not even a funny ass code, I guess. Shit.
Code for what? What do you mean?
You know, on podcasts, they say if you use this code, you'll get free.
Oh, right. Redemption code, redeem code. Yeah.
This part of the podcast is a failure. No. So I want to ask you about. I know you listen to a lot of soundtrack music, and I know when you're zonking out and have a good time, you're listening to a lot of podcast music, a lot of soundtrack music, a lot of indie music, like weird shit. Like maybe you'll listen to the Life is Strange, Before the Storm soundtrack, something like that, or whatever. Now, what are you listening to for back in the day? You listen to a lot of rap. That's how you came up. What are you listening to for rap these days? And not really. I mean, I guess, what are you listening to for rap / pop besides Ricky Hill? Shout out Ricky Hill, the man. But
love that kid.
Even if you can name one or two artists that you think are hot today that you actually sit down and fuck with, underground, mainstream. Actually, do one not so known and one very well known, that even if it's just like, oh, I heard this Travis Scott song, or I heard this someone you would absolutely hate. I heard this whatever song and now I fucking like them. Or not like that, but you know what I mean.
So you want me to name an artist that I really fuck with in rap that's not very well known, and another one that is well known?
We'll say this: songs. Name a song that you'd hear on the radio that's by or the artist if you can, but that you'd hear on the radio that is a modern day rap or trap song. Lil Peep is a good example. You fuck with Lil Peep, something like that, but not as emo or whatever. It could be anything you've heard that you're like, oh, I fuck with that track Sicko Mode, or I fuck with that track, a Post Malone song, for example. Perfect example. And then something more like in Ricky Hill's field, or a really lyrical rapper, like, is there anybody out there that you go to? Seven Spheres, perfect example.
Yeah. I was gonna mention Ghost One. That's the MC for Seven Spheres. He's incredible, and he's very underground. There's another MC that is very lyrical, that has worked with Cannabis in the past. His name is K Rhino. He goes by K Rhino. I couldn't tell you a particular song. I personally don't sit around and like listen to Pandora and listen to all the current shit all the time. Like, if somebody recommends something to me, I will definitely check it out. I always check out anything you send me, regardless.
Shout out Anamanaguchi. Shout out I the Mighty.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's usually how I find new music. Or I'll go to a party or something like that and hear something and be like, what is that? I usually if I hear something random, I tend not to really care about it. But K Rhino, Ghost One, those are not so well known. As far as like big rappers, I mean, Joyner Lucas, I guess. I mean, he's probably. Who's the other guy? Dave East is pretty sick too.
I have no idea who that is. But who
Really?
is the? What is that song that you said? You said I was with Cash, or I was with maybe your boy Cash, or maybe your boy Sule, and someone was listening to something, like maybe his daughter was listening to something, and you were like, "Oh, what is this?" Some story that you told me, and it was a song that I was very surprised that you fucked with. I was like, maybe dude. The fact that, okay, and I'm gonna say this on, maybe 5 people are gonna see this, and then they're gonna know. The fact that I finally, actually, you found it yourself, that you finally found a fucking 6ix9ine track that bumps. That blows my mind. When I first started talking to you, I never would have expected that you'd ever say, I heard this 6ix9ine song and it goes hard.
Yeah,
That's,
you're the one that showed me that.
oh, did I really?
Yeah, you're the one that sent me it was the music video with the two like
Okay.
foreign rappers.
Yep. That's Skittles or Gigi by I think International Gangster. No, International Gangster is the song you did with 50 Cent. Or no, the name of the song's called International Gangster. Shit, maybe he has I don't know. What the fuck? The song's called Gigi. And then in parentheses, it's Skittles. And he has another song called International Gangster that he does with a Russian dude. Or like
Okay.
a Siberian dude, kind of. It reminds me of, what is Die Antwoord or D Antwoord? You know what their fucking nationality is?
No,
Swedish? Something like that. But
sure. I just thought of another artist. You don't really fuck with like the battle rap shit, do you? Like some of those dudes make music. A lot of them don't, but you should really
I've
get into that.
never,
I think you would really like that.
I don't like it when it's cheesy, because I've spent so much time looking at footage on the internet of absolutely everything. Of, oh, dad smashed his kid's Xbox because he was a little prick. And then he's like, the kid lays on the ground with a smashed Xbox and is like, Dad! And it's like, come on, that's sketched. You're being,
Right.
you're not going to you're not going to look your dad in the face and say, get the fuck out of my room, you faggot. Not
Right.
going to happen. And, or like, UFO sightings. So easy to tell. Like, there's some that are put together well enough that you can be like, oh shit, this might be real. But the other ones, it's like, and then so like, and not saying the battle raps are fake, but when it's like a camera in the group and they're like, your mom fucking sucks dick, and everybody's like, oh, you know what I mean? Like that gets a little cheesy, but if it's like actual, like an 8 Mile setting, I'll be like, what? I fuck with that.
Yeah.
Like
No, there.
if it's a yo mama type of thing, that's a little too comedic for me. The whatever, the MTV show Yo Mama, and then if they have like a lot of battle raps on YouTube are kind of like that, but if it's in a serious setting, I'll fuck with it.
Right. Well, I got into that a couple of years back, and just started watching those videos hardcore. And a lot of it, like, there are certain companies that like sign battle rappers, and they make their own. It's like their own production style and everything. It's like their own battle rap company. Like there's one from
Right.
there's a bunch. There's a bunch from Canada. There's a bunch from the U.S., etc. Anyway, depending on how much money these companies have, is gonna affect like the quality of it being cheesy or not. Basically,
Right.
if it's low budget, they're gonna obviously go into a basement that they rent it out. There's gonna be one or two cameras maybe, and it's gonna be two MCs going at it. Now, as far as like the written shit, I don't know if you're concerned about that, but back in the day, it was strictly freestyle. Like these dudes would come up to each other and just like go off the top. And so people that grew up in that era and really fuck with that kind of shit, like the new shit is all written. So everybody's like, I don't really want to watch this shit. It's all prepared. It's all. But if you watch it, it's like a boxing match. Anyway, my point was there's an MC that battled Disaster. Disaster is one of like the main battle rappers. I can't stand him personally, but There's a dude that battled him called Oxymiron. He's from Russia.
Oksana.
He murdered him. Yeah. Everybody's getting an Oksana once we get to episode 10.
Oh shit! Live on cam.
Oksana's for all males. Go ahead.
I almost just burned my house down live on cam, dude. I don't know how to hold a fucking cigarette. I should quit smoking for more reasons than just that. You know, real quick, I gotta say something. You said era, and you said way back something. It triggered something. Have you seen this video of this guy on? He writes raps, and he's on a talk show, and he's like, "I wrote this book full of raps," and the lady's like, "You want to perform something for?" Or no, he's a rapper, and he's promoting his new book that's full of like rhymes, and he's like, "So I'm gonna do a freestyle for you guys, and whatever." And she's like, "All right, you want to go?" And he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, back in the day, and she's like, "You want to just read something from your book?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Oh shit! I saw that video. Yeah, that's fucking terrible.
I think you sent that to me. You were the first person to send that to me, and it went everywhere on podcasts. I've seen that on like 3 or 4 different podcasts. Crystalia H3. Shout out Crystalia. Congratulations, podcast. Shout out H3 podcast. Fuck, dude, that shit's so hilarious. And like cringy at the same time. I'm like, oh man, dude, how could you go on there and do that? Think of something from your book. And then, I don't know. That was...
You could feel it. You could feel it when he froze that he wanted to fucking die. Like, he wanted to fucking die.
It's like, I fucked this whole thing up. And then they're like, can we just... All right, he's like, are we live?
And she trolled his ass.
He said at one point, are we live? She's like, yeah, do you want to read something from your book?
Yeah, who says that? That's like a bitch-ass move. Like, you're choking right now. You want to read something from your book, you little bitch? Like,
choke.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I think she was trying to, like, be like, you need help, dude? Are you having a stroke? I just love when he's like, back in the day, I was... And he's thinking, he's like, what the fuck was I back in the day? Back in the day, I was... Fuck.
How could you not think of something after that? I mean, I guess if it's live and you're freaking out, but...
I don't know if he was actually freestyling or if because that's a weird way to start something, but maybe he was like... But, you know, that, for all we know, because I've never seen that news station anywhere else, and it wasn't like an actual news station. It was like a weird little talk show. That might have been some kind of a sketch. Think about it, like maybe somebody did that and threw it out there or whatever.
Yeah, but yeah. Back to the original point, which was artists that I fuck with, but Oxymiron is one of them. Shoddy Hora is another one. I like a lot of like underground lyrical stuff that nobody knows about. But as far as like the new shit, you know me. I don't really like the new sound, like the new sounds and shit, like poppy and electronic. I don't know. Electronic voices and washed down lyrics. I just can't. It doesn't register with me. I was born in the 80s, so like I grew up with all the shit from the 90s, and it just stuck with me. Just like you. We talked about this the other day, where you can hear in certain artists what you used to hate. Remember you saying that? Like, I can listen to this new artist, but they were clearly influenced by this band from the 90s, and I hate that fucking band, so therefore I hate this new artist.
Okay, so I tried to text you this first. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it because it's a trial run. I didn't hear anything you just said. I don't know if your mic was covered or if
you didn't hear it. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. You said, do you remember when he said that? That's the only thing I heard.
Remember when you were talking about how there are certain artists, like certain new artists, where you can hear that they were clearly influenced by this band from back in the day that you hated. So therefore you can't fuck with them because they sound like this other shit that you hated.
I said, well, are you talking about... I said this?
Yeah, you did.
Was I talking about like the 2000s rap?
Yeah, I think so, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, what I was saying was like it wasn't that, it was that artists like Ice Cube and Scarface. I loved Ghetto Boys, I loved NWA, I loved America's Most Wanted, I loved, Scarface's individual work until it came to the 2000s and they started introducing more in the 90s, in the 80s, it was all organic sounds. They had to find those sounds somewhere. And then when tech, and now I've never explained it this way, and my brain has never clicked right for me to explain it this way, but this is what I don't like about it. When they started adding the electronics, when they started adding the computer sounds to their beats, is where I fell off. When they stopped sampling other songs, when they stopped sampling actual music, and they started making their own beats, I don't think they had beats right then. I don't think instrumentals really clicked until about 2017 at the earliest. People started getting it right with every song. If you listen to just the instrumental, it could be an EDM banger. If you go before that, everything was kind of like this weird house music techno shit, or just obnoxious horns, or like horns that were distorted to sound like, I don't know. I think that for a long time, people didn't really know what they were doing with instrumentals, and in that time, yeah, it was hot. Like growing up, like hearing "You Can Do It" by Ice Cube, perfect example. That's one of the only songs from that era that I really fuck with by him, and that's because it was beat into my head with on Save the Last Dance and shit like that, which was one of my mom's favorite movies. And so I really fucked with that song. But if you listen to anything else, it's all these electronic sounds. It's not it's not organic sounds. And I just think that they didn't get the electronics right until later in the 2000s and 2010s, the tens, if you will. Yeah.
Well, I thought
Yeah.
what I was getting at was I thought when you said that I thought you were talking about because this happens for everybody where they're born in a certain decade and then the following decade depending on what like if you're born in '82 you start really fucking with music probably like '93 or something like that. You start
Yeah.
really getting into it. Okay, so there's like a pocket for everybody. Depending on when you were born, there's a pocket for the era that you like are particularly. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say. The word is you're accustomed to or that you really fuck with. So if you're born in the '80s, obviously you're gonna listen to all the '90s shit when you're really young, and that's really gonna affect you, and it's really gonna develop your whole sound. Well, it's the same shit if you were born in the '70s or the '60s or the '50s. Like there's that pocket of shit that you fuck with like between the age of like 9 and 19 where you're like, oh my god, all this shit is so good, I love this song from the radio, I love this song from the radio. And then at that point you think you've figured everything out. You're like, oh well, I've heard all this pop shit that's coming out, I've heard all this jazz shit, I've heard all this rap shit, I really fuck with this. I'm 18, I'm dating this girl, I feel like a fucking superhero, this is my song, this is our song, we're in love, blah, 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 blah. There's that pocket. And it shifts for everybody depending on what decade you were born in. So everything during that decade is gold, and everything before and after that is garbage. Is basically what it boils down to.
Don't go talking about me being 17, 18 years old dating no girls, man, because you know what? I might get sad when I think about that.
You know what I'm talking about, and
Oh
that's how it
yeah.
works. That's how it works for everybody, and it's kind of sad, really, because there's great music from every era, and it's kind of
Yeah.
stupid that everybody's like, oh, you know what?
Okay, yeah.
It's all about the '90s. I don't care about anything else. The golden era of hip hop was the fucking '90s. I'm like, okay, well, there's good shit. There was great shit before that, and there's great shit after that. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
80s and the 90s was hip hop killed it.
Right.
I think hip hop slowly died down, and the real people like Eminem kind of took over and made hip hop great in the 2000s. But then people like 50 Cent started coming in. Like Ice Cube started to get kind of whack. He has some good tracks, but he started to get kind of whack. And then you got people like 50 Cent coming in. And it's like, where is our substance? Where is our, you know, these are bangers, no doubt. But where is, and like Soulja Boy, like, where is our substance? Where is our, if you listen to the radio in the 80s or the 90s, you're going to hear a censored NWA song. If you're looking at MTV in the 80s or the 90s, you're going to see, you know, whatever they say on, I can't think of one of the NWA songs is like, they had this edit of one of the songs that was like, let's say it was "Fuck the Police," and it's like "Dump the Police" but I think it was Straight Outta Compton, and he says, well, I guess this isn't bad, but he says, "Straight Outta Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube, coming."
I remember that, yeah.
Whatever,
yeah.
And then he says,
"Niggas with attitude."
He says, "A young brother got it bad because he's brown," instead of whatever. But there was a more extreme one too that I don't know if this was Ice Cube. I think it might have been Ice Cube, where you may have heard of this too. There's an edit of a song that's re-recorded. Obviously, they re-recorded the entire vocals. Oh my God, fella, you love to hate. They have a censored version of that song, and Ice Cube sounds so pissed the entire time because that song goes hard. Every other word is this, this, and that. He sounds so pissed off, and you could tell he recorded it in like the 2000s for an anniversary type thing. His voice sounds completely different, and everything is censored. And every time he hits that, like a swear word or whatever, he hits it so hard, and he sounds so pissed. Like, why am I in the studio right now recording a censored version of my song when everything that we were about was, fuck the police, man.
Right.
Really? And then
Public Enemy too.
Yeah.
Public Enemy they were the first motherfuckers to really like stick it to fucking authorities.
Oh yeah.
On the fucking radio.
Like Enemy number one.
Yeah, that shit is so fucking gold. It's
exactly. See, so now you can look and see there were some classics in the 2000s, but I would say throughout the 80s and the 90s is where it was booming, and even maybe the 80s and the 90s, but then Ice Cube kept putting out music, but then he started doing like movies where he was taking care of kids and shit, and like everything else, and then we got all these other rappers that was like Eminem was king for the longest time, because when Eminem was out, who else was out? Drake, very early, 50 Cent, Kanye. Now Kanye may be
Jay-Z was coming up too.
Jay-Z, yep. Kanye may be a cocksuck today, but back in the day,
he's a fucking genius. It doesn't.
The Wire.
Pick from age 5 to his age today. He's fucking genius. Doesn't matter.
Dude, oh my God! First of all, Through the Wire got me into. Through the Wire was my very first Kanye West song. My mom was listening to it and was like, we were listening to it in the car, and she's like, "This dude's fucking rapping with his jaw wired shut." And I'm like, "What?" Right. And she's like, "Listen to this." She starts laughing because he actually sampled Through the Fire and made it say Through the Wire. And she's like, "They're saying Through the Wire, not through the fire." And he's rapping through a wired fucking jaw. And you could hear him, go, whatever. And I was like, back in the day, that was hilarious that he even did that. But now, as a full-grown adult, I listened to that the other day, and he's trying so hard, for one. That sample is now genius. Back in the day, it was like, Through the Wire, get real. That sample is genius now. To find that perfect song, I'm rapping Through the Wire, you know what I mean? And then, just to be like, you guys really fucking thought I wasn't going to rap with a wired fucking jaw shut. You were wrong. And then...
That was almost like the wheelchair thing that he did.
Oh, when Drake got shot on Degrassi?
No, he came out on stage in a wheelchair during somebody's performance. I can't remember who it was. But whoever it was extremely pissed. Like, they told him before. They were like, "Don't do that." don't come out in a wheelchair because I will shut this whole shit down. But he did it anyway. He came out like rapping in a wheelchair. Was it him or was it somebody? I think it was Kanye.
Not sure. I don't remember that instance. But I mean, what hasn't Kanye done? That's, if it wasn't for Kanye, we wouldn't have a lot of the things we have now, and good and bad.
You have to. I mean, Kanye, he's going a little nuts lately. We all know that.
But if you're a fan of hip hop,
that's the price of genius, I think, for in his case.
If you're a fan of hip hop, if you're a fan of production, in any way, you have to respect Kanye West for everything he's done. You have to like him as a person. You don't have to like anything he's doing now. And I don't know really what he's doing right now with the younger, whatever. Maybe he sees himself in these younger artists that, I think that he was kind of, decently lyrical back in the day. And I don't know why he would see someone like Lil Pump and think, but that's just the kind of person that he is now. He thinks he's some kind of a god now. The genius has gotten to his head, so he's going to put out a song, you're such a fucking hoe, I love it.
Well, and it's not like he was the first to do that anyway. I mean, what the fuck was
Right.
Eminem doing back then? Eminem was writing ridiculously psychotic songs. And that's a big part of why he blew up in the first place. Most of the people that listened to him back in the day didn't really give a fuck about lyrics until he basically kind of fell off, and people started blowing up that weren't lyrical, and they're like, oh fuck, wait a minute, Eminem was actually really dope. These other people are not that dope. They're just kind of grabbing some good production and putting a little extra effects on their vocals and shit like that, and calling it good. And yeah, you can fuck with that shit. Like,
I'm so
good.
glad.
It's good for vibing, and it's good for like dancing and shit like that. But like, if you want lyrical content, you're really not gonna find it after.
I got to interrupt you for a second on some gay shit. I'm so glad that reaction was caught on camera. I hope this video saves. I hope we can watch this back. A girl just texted me and it lit me up, dude. I'm just looking at my phone all depressed, and dude, it's fucked up when you feel like, okay, so let's talk about, we're just gonna say Gabby, our girl Gabby. It's fucked up how Gabby can lay dormant for so long until you feel some type of positive emotion, and it's like, oh my god, today is going to be incredible, and it's based off of one thing some person might have said, but it's because of Gabby, because Gabby allowed us to hear it. I don't know, but yeah, everything you're saying is right. Everything you're saying, I agree. I gotta tell you though, I have to tell you, you said, oh, you remember when you were, maybe you're born in 82, by 93 you're gonna be listening to music, you're gonna know what you love. And I gotta tell you, that's 11 years old. Right. When I was probably about 6 or 7 years old, I knew that I loved hip hop, and I am ashamed of myself. I am disgraced with myself for thinking that what I was listening to then was hip hop.
Yeah, well, yeah. Obviously, when you're young, you make a lot of mistakes. Go ahead.
My two favorite songs when I was 7 years old were Ignition, the remix by R. Kelly. That song played, dude. That song played every Friday in my neighborhood. That song played at least 15 times a day because it's the freaking weekend, baby. I'm about to have me some fun. That was the weekend song. So on this 104.5 WSNX, every Friday played Ignition, the remix all day long. And I would be bounce, 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 bounce in the backseat of the car, to the point to where my mom would change it every time because she was so sick of hearing it, would turn it to the opera station and be like, it's the freaking weekend, baby, and tease me. And I'd be like, Mom, please just let me hear it. Now, my second favorite hip-hop song when I was 6 or 7 years old, Nasty Girl by Nitty.
I mean,
Now,
I can comment a lot on R. Kelly because he's similar. He's a similar artist or personality to Kanye West.
in a way that,
He's done a lot of horrible shit, but his music is fucking immaculate. Like R. Kelly does no wrong.
dude, ignition goes so fucking hard. I still bump that song. Now here's the one you're gonna be proud of. Had to have been 6 or 7 years old because when I moved to this town called Rockford in Michigan, I was at least 9 or 11, and this was way back. So now the only real hip hop song that I loved when I was 7 years old went so fucking hard. All About You by Tupac was my fucking jam. Uh, every time I heard that song, my brother had it on a CD. I used to listen to that CD, and every other place I go, I see the same, or whatever. Or every other city I go, see this, whatever, it's all about you. Everywhere I go, I see the same host. Oh my God, dude, I love that shit as a kid, dude. And I listen to that today, and you know what? They say either Cameo or Tupac, one of the two sampled each other. Because Cameo has Candy. Tupac had to have sampled the beat for Candy by Cameo to make All About You because it's the same fucking bass line. And that's what I loved. And that's what I've always loved about hip hop. And that's why I believe that I could do something good with producing because it's always been about the beats. Yeah, the catchy lyrics, every other city I go, I see the same hoe. But that, uh, that fucking bass line. And that's always what's captured me. And if I listen to a song and it has a trash beat, you could be talking about the most political, important things in the world. You could be having the hottest flows in the world. You could have the catchiest hook. But if your beat is garbage, I can't listen to you. If your music video is garbage and looks like it was filmed on an iPhone with a filter over it, I can't watch your music video. If you don't have a good production quality, or if you don't have a good instrumental that captures me, I can't let it be complete. I don't know what it is.
I agree with you. I agree with you, but I think if like for me when I listen to music, one of the last things I pay attention to is what you're talking about. For me, it's about the craft, which I've gone over with you and some lists that I've sent you. Like those are the main things that like really prove to me that you're an MC. And if your beat is average, but your craft is immaculate, I'll fuck with that. Like I can fuck with that because I believe that you're an intelligent artist and that you have the know-all about the craft and you've been at it for years and years and years. I can hear that in your lyrics and I can hear that in your flow, et cetera, et cetera. And I believe like down the line that you will eventually find better beats because if you're that intelligent, if you're that creative, if you're that musical, that means that eventually down the line, bigger producers are going to reach out to you with better beats and you're going to be attracted to those beats. If you're not, there's a problem. And I agree with you. I agree with you. The production needs to be on point at some point in your career. But at the same time, if you have no craft, like if you're just hunting around on the internet looking for like the dopest beats you can find, and then you're on there like sip some Hennessy and I fuck my bitch in the ass, like come on, dude, like throw your mic in the fucking garbage for real. Like this is a waste of fucking time. You might as well just make like an instrumental tape and have it presented by you, like little dumbass presents a really dope tape produced by whoever the fuck, and it's amazing production. Rob Sonic said that in one of his albums. He said something like, "Your record might be better if you took out all the speaking parts." basically, your record is trash. Your record is trash unless you took out all the vocals. Then it would be amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's what you mean by like craft or whatever.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, what do you mean by craft? So like, you're talking a little bit of lyricism. Like, okay, not to fucking toot my own horn, but someone like me, I'm not a extremely lyrical rapper at all. In some points, I can tell a story good. I can simplistically tell a good story, and I can, I like to consider myself the white prodigy, new Big. I could tell that story. I'm fat and I'm white, so it was all a dream. Oh no, just kidding.
I want you to transform into pun, but it's
yes.
gonna take you
now,
a while.
Wins.
It's gonna take you a while. Trust me, it's gonna take you a while. But I think you can get there.
I do think that's true. I do think that's true. For considering if we're comparing me to the only fat rappers in existence, I do think right now I'm at a what's it called? A rookie. I'm at a rookie Big level, and I need to get to a prestige master class pun level. And that'll happen. I mean, that'll happen behind the scenes. I'm gonna make a lot of pop music. I'm going to a producer, the producer of the podcast just messaged me. Hold on a minute. I think I don't know. I'm getting a lot of messages right now.
All good.
I'm saying though, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen.
I agree. If you do the things we talked about, I don't want to put you on blast or anything, but if you do the things that we've talked about, like if you keep those in the back of your mind, I have no worries about you. I think you're gonna excel.
Well, we'll wrap this up by saying this, because it is pushing the how long have we been going for?
It's an hour and 15 coming up.
So we're pushing the end of this trial run for the podcast, but I want to wrap it up saying Strawberry Jellyfish is, which I your boy Fish here, is a multi-genre project. So there's going to be pop music, a lot of pop music. There's going to be a handful of metal music. There's going to be a handful of acoustic music. Sad when I think about Atlanta acoustic version coming soon, hybrid remix coming soon. It's going to be a lot of different shit, and there's going to be, I can shit a pop song. I can take any song, turn it into an acoustic song in 10 minutes. And I can spend enough time on metal. My heart has enough metal in it to where I can get that done. With rap, now, that's something that I'm going to have to, while I'm dropping pop albums, I'm going to rap a little bit. But when it comes to paying tribute to to hip hop, to original hip hop, whether it be something like Big Pun, NWA, or A Tribe Called Quest, which I love. I want to put out Tribe Tape. Any of that shit is going to have to be a learning process over the years, and I'm not going to. You'll hear it in my pop music. You'll hear when I spit a verse, you'll hear, oh shit, he's getting better. But you're never going to hear me put out a full rap song or an entire rap tape until I have mastered it, or until I'm halfway there, until I enter rookie pun level. Then maybe I'll put out a rap EP, but I'm not going to come acting like an actual rapper. I'm a multi-genre pop artist, whatever you want to call it. But, one day I'll fucking rise from the ashes like a phoenix of Phoenix, Arizona, maybe, of, as fucking, Young Pun. I'll change my name to Young Pun and I'll put out a whole tape. Lil Pun.
That Big Pun has a son and he calls himself Baby Pun.
Oh yeah.
And he's fucking dope.
Yeah. Me and Israel used to listen to him.
Yeah, he's not bad at all. But you know what?
Yeah, man.
When you get to that point in your career, and I'm glad you said what you said, because I really think that you should do what you just said
right now.
as your plan
I should stick to
until you get to a point where people like me and Cash, etc., are like, wow, that's fucking hip hop. Now you can start putting that shit out. I can't wait for that. Like like you say, I'm gonna come in my pants when I hear a song by you where you're like actually going bar for bar all the way through, and I'm like, oh my god, he's got it. He's fucking got it. I can't wait.
My Platinum Plus remix was a good foreshadowing of that. It was, it was everything I know as far as rap goes put into one thing as like, this is what's to come. And I'm going to continue to blow minds regardless of what I'm dropping, though. My everything from here on out, after Sad When I Think About Atlanta and Smile, the way those sound, I'm inspired to make every single single I put out, every single album I put out better than the last. Every song that I write from here on out, we got some tracks coming. You may see it, fucking Edge, Makeup, Breakup. Who knows what that means? I don't. You? Okay. So, we got some fucking projects coming in the future that, you're probably going to be like, everybody, the fans, are going to be like, holy shit, because I'm not going to stop until every track, everything that I touch is better than the last. I'm going to continue to grow, whether it's metal, whatever. Now, I don't want to get anything confused. Ashbury High is my project with my nephew, Ash, or Andrew, and that is our SoundCloud rap outlet. We'll be hearing obnoxious, fucked up music from me in that place. And the class of Ashbury High is a collective of amazing artists that are up and coming today that are not part of the group, but part of the collective, part of the class, part of, we support each other in that group. And Strawberry Jellyfish is going to continue to fucking succeed and rise, and Hybrid's going to continue to succeed and rise. And, we got to wrap this up here. This has been the, Ian the Homey Hybrids podcast. And I think on our next episode, we're going to get into conspiracy theories, aliens.
This is the shit I'm excited about. Like history and fucking theology and shit like that. I can't wait.
Tune in next time to hear me and Hybrid debate whether or not aliens exist, whether or not there's proof of aliens existing, what's going on at Area 51, what's going on with Roswell, what's going on with MK Ultra mind control, what's going on with Lincoln, what's going on with JFK, what's going on with 9/11, what's going on with Bush, even what's going on with Trump. We might get a little political here on fucking Ian the Homey Hybrids podcast because we don't give a fuck.
I love that. And I can't wait for you to excel and grow. And I can't wait to hear your new shit, because I know you're just gonna get better and better. And I can't wait for you to hear my new shit. And I'm excited to work with you on our up and coming couple of songs. And yeah, this podcast is awesome. It's a lot of fun. And I can't wait for the next one. I really can't. Like, I love shooting the shit. That's all good and everything, but I can't wait for like the juicy, like good stuff, debate shit.
We're gonna upgrade. This won't always be a Skype call podcast. This is going to end up. We're gonna, as our careers progress, this isn't gonna stop. We're going to get a studio. We're gonna be in the same room together. Fuck this Skype shit.
Right.
Maybe within the next year, maybe fucking 2020 is gonna be that year. And we're going to continue to upgrade cameras. We're going to have fucking intro music, outro music. This is the test run. This is a little preview of what's to come. And I've had fucking a lot of fun this hour and 15 minutes. We're going over maybe to an hour and 20 minutes now. This has been sick. If you watch, thank you. You tune in next time. Thank you. Thank you for all the fucking love on my music. And, the love for the future that you're going to give this dude right here, because this dude right here, wherever he is, he kicks fucking ass. So that's all I got.
I appreciate that, and I'm really excited for you as well. Like I said, I can't wait for your shit to get going. You're a talented kid and you're a smart kid, and I believe in you. I've always said that, and I've always got your back. So we'll keep this shit going.
And one more thing, if you're watching this right now, you need to go on YouTube. You need to type in hybrid, Kurz, death, strawberry jellyfish. Watch the video. You're gonna hear two of the coolest fucking dudes you've ever heard in your life telling an amazing fucking story of Arizona, of, you know, fucking women, fucking, you know, you're gonna fucking love it, and you're gonna hear some of the coolest sampling, in my opinion, a song that I can listen to for hours. And rest in peace, Kurz. Dude was fucking onto something amazing. You know? And we're gonna continue his legacy. We're gonna pay tribute to him every chance we get.
I love that, man. I'll see you on the next one.
Yep. Peace out, guys.
All right, peace.